And now we are joined by UFC featherweight Darrick Minner, who faces Ryan Hall at UFC 269 on December 11th. Darrick, unfortunately, last time I spoke to you, since then you've gone on to loss to Darren Elkins, but they've given you a superb opportunity the UFC have in bouncing back with a win against Ryan Hall. How did this fight come about, and when did you hear about it first?
It's been a while, man. I don't know. It's been beginning of September, so I mean we're going on a couple months now. Yeah, man, they pretty much said, here, here's your new deal, here's an opponent, what do you think? And me being who I am, I said okay. I mean, yeah, that was pretty much it, man. I didn't, with Ryan Hall, I mean, I know the talk was that everybody don't want to fight him, but I'm not that guy, so yeah, we're ready to mix it up.
So you got a new contract as well? Is that as well as the fight offer? You got a new contract? Is that true?
Yep. I fought my 4 fights on my other last contract, and we just signed a new 4-fight deal right before this one. So
that's great news. And do you feel like well respected by the UFC in a way that they've given you Ryan Hall straight away?
Yeah, man. I think they just like the fight. I mean, it's an interesting fight on paper. I mean, for sure. I mean, you got this guy that's the jiu-jitsu wizard who created his own system, who blah blah blah, and you got a guy that has 23 submissions to his name in his pro career. So I mean, it just makes sense. I think Sean Shelby likes the matchup, and I mean, it's definitely I mean, he beat Elkins, so I'm just gonna go erase that loss by getting a win and going from there. So yeah.
And you mentioned that he's beaten Darren Elkins. He's also beaten BJ Penn. He's, one of the most respected featherweights in the UFC. Do you feel like this would be your biggest win to date if you got one over him?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely probably the biggest win of my career. But it don't matter who I'm fighting. If I'm fighting in the UFC, my next win is the biggest win in my career. You got to keep winning. You got to keep showing out. And I mean, this adds Ryan Hall's name to my resume is going to be great.
And, we talk about his unique style. How difficult is it to prepare for a style like that? Because I believe, he might have the most unique style in the whole of mixed martial arts.
Well, I went and entered my daughter's tumbling class, and I started preparing that way right when I heard about it. No, I'm just joking. No, it's been fun, man. I got the best game planning coach in the world, man. I got one of the best teams in the world. It hasn't been, I mean, honestly, it hasn't been fun. Like, I don't like ankle locks. I mean, that's just not my game, and I know how to do them. I know how to defend them and blah, blah, but we've been really specific on that. Obviously, I have 2 guys that I roll with that are super high level, black belt and brown belt at ankle locks and inverting and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm very familiar with that now, the last 8 weeks. It's just been a different type of camp, kind of. I mean, that's pretty much it compared to normal. I mean, we added that into my schedule with those 2 guys, and nothing out of the ordinary, man. We got the game plan. We're going to stick to it. We're going to go in there and get the dub.
Is there anything different in this training camp that you've maybe changed up, particularly for Ryan Hall at all?
Yeah, I mean, the game plan is obviously different. The way I when I go in live rounds, I implement my game plan and what I'm going to do. Each week I roll with two guys, like I mentioned, that are ankle lock guys. They're into that 50-50. They're into the invertings type stuff, the weird jiu-jitsu style, the annoying style. Yeah, that's what I've been dealing with for the last 7 weeks. So I can't wait to go get that behind me after I whoop up on him and show what we've been cooking up. So,
and I assume that you've watched his last fight against Ilia Topuria, his kind of return to fighting. What did you kind of make of that performance? Because it was interesting in a way.
I mean, it's he went out there and did what Ryan Hall does. He throws spinning kicks. He throws weird kicks. He rolls and he rolls, and he rolled again, and then he kicked a couple times, and he rolls again. So it was not surprising. I mean, eventually that was going to happen. I mean, eventually somebody was going to go out there and do what everybody knows that should be done, right? You know, I mean, I think BJ Penn was doing really well against him until he got caught, and then Amari roll, and him and Ari roll, and he was doing really well, and then he got submitted. Darren Elkins was doing super well, but he just doesn't have head movement, so he was getting hit with that spinning wheel kick, you know, and that's how he lost the fight, is just because I don't think it was because that Ryan Hall was so much better. I think that he just doesn't have head movement, so he got outpointed, you know. So yeah, it's an interesting fight.
And how dangerous do you believe your particular fight style is towards Ryan Hall?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting matchup, you know. I mean, it's definitely but that's the thing, like my matchup's difficult for anybody in the world, you know. And I truly believe that, but I truly believe that everybody's gonna see a totally different me, you know. I'm gonna be a more improved, a more well composed. My mind is gonna be clear, and you know, I'm gonna hand off the controller to my coach, and I'm gonna let him do his job, and we're gonna go out there, and I'm just gonna whatever says goes, man. You know, that's why he's one of the best coaches in the world, and you know, that's what's gonna happen. I'm well prepared, and yeah, I think it's a difficult matchup no matter what, but I think that a lot of people don't realize how, like, they might. I mean, I got really good ground and pound. I got really good. My stand up is actually really good. You know, I've landed a fight and almost landed a takedown in every one of my fights. So people haven't really seen that. So yeah, I mean, anywhere the fight goes, I'm gonna be ready, and I'm gonna be well prepared, and I'm gonna do what I do. So,
and without going into your game plan too much, will you kind of invite his roles in a way, in terms of maybe getting into the ground and pound and getting him where you want him?
I mean, if he wants to roll and wear himself out and do all that stuff, go ahead. You know, I mean, I just yeah, man, go ahead. I mean, if he wants to roll, he's gonna roll. I mean, there's no doubt about it. He's gonna roll. He's gonna look for his stuff. I mean, yeah, invite in. I'm just gonna be super patient and just do what I've been doing all camp, and implement what I'm gonna do. It is I have there's nothing about me that's worried about what he's going to do. It's all about what I'm going to do. Because if I'm on my game, if my mind's clear and everything, I'm one of the best in the world, and I truly 100% believe that. And yeah, so it's about what I'm going to do.
And just going back to your last fight against Darren Elkins, that first round, you know, it was a clear win for you. I believe all the judges scored it in your favor. Was it disappointing in a way to go out in the second round, considering you were winning the fight?
Yeah, I think all the judges gave me 10-8 in that first round. Yeah, it sucked, man. It was terrible. You know, it should never happen. I should never take a loss to him. He can take an ass whooping, man, and yeah, it was super disappointing. I mean, any loss at this level, especially when you know you're better than him. I was doing pretty much whatever I wanted. Even in that second round, I came out and shot a double leg, and I took him down right away. And I think I could have done that all 3 rounds. But I went back to kind of my old self of jumping on guillotine after guillotine after guillotine. But I hesitated too much in some of those chokes, and I wore myself out. My arm just gassed out. Yeah, man, I think 2 weeks prior, I had staph. I was on antibiotics leading up to weigh-ins. I got shot with a couple shots, but that's no excuse. I should definitely, I think that's why my muscles wore out so easy, because I was doing that all camp, not necessarily like jumping guillotines, but I was training at a high pace like that every round, because I knew that's what type of fight it was going to be. It was going with the best scramblers in the room. And so I was definitely well prepared. My arms gave out, man. My lungs were there. I was looking at coach. My mind was clear. I couldn't, my arms are dead, you know? And so I've definitely addressed that more this camp than I have before. And so, yeah, it's a different type of fight though. Way different.
What did James Krause have to say to you following that defeat?
Oh, that's rated fucking not for this interview. No, I'm just playing. He was upset, man, because he knows how much better I am than that. You know, he knows how much better that I am. I went back to old me. I wasn't listening too much. I wasn't listening enough. Yeah, man. So I'm just ready to get back to where I was right before the Darren Elkins fight, man. I had a great training camp's been great. Yeah, James wasn't too happy. Neither was I. We just know how much better I am than that. So.
Yeah, you talk about getting back to where you were before that fight. You were on great momentum. You know, it's looking like you kind of in your prime of your career. It's fair to say, and we still possibly are. I feel like, how many fights do you feel like you are maybe off the top 15 now with kind of that setback? Because you said in the lead up to that fight that you felt like you were one fight away from the top 15. Where do you think you are now against an opponent like Ryan Hall?
Man, I go out and beat Ryan Hall. I mean, Topuria got ranked right after Ryan Hall, right? Right after he beat Ryan Hall. So him and one more maybe. Not really worried about that. I'm just wanting to go in there, win fights, and keep winning fights, and keep stacking the wins, keep stacking my bank account, and just keep moving forward, man. That's the goal, and climb. You got to beat everybody. So you know that it is what it is. Yeah, but I believe, you know, Ryan Hall puts me right back in the mix. I think maybe one more, you know, who knows what's going on. You know, you can get somebody right. Sometimes you can get a guy that's in the top 15 because they don't got an opponent, you know, maybe, you know, I don't say no to fights. So whatever they want me to do, you know, I'll do. So.
You say don't say no to fights, but would you be willing to wait for kind of that opportunity to maybe jump in the rankings, or will you take anyone past this fight?
Man, no, I'm looking to fight, man. I'm looking to stay active. You know, if you know, obviously if they came at me and they're gonna offer me whoever, you know, like if they were like, oh, well, we can get a top. No, if you wait a year, 6 months, you know, people get put on the shelf for longer than what they're told they're going to be put on the shelf for. So, yeah, man, I'm looking to get this win and then turn right back around in March, you know, March or April, and keep riding them off. I've done it my whole career. That's when I'm at my best. And, yeah, man, like I said, you have to beat them all anyway. So why not keep active while doing it?
And what should Ryan Hall expect when he's facing you on December 11th?
Oh man, he's gonna be somebody I'm gonna be somebody that's in his face the whole time. He's not gonna get off easy on anything. Every time he cracks, he's gonna crack back. You know, if he wants to roll and play a jiu-jitsu game, he's gonna have a lot of different issues with the ground and pound than he's seen before, I believe. Yeah, I mean, that's about it, man. There's enough video out there to know what to expect, but you're gonna see the more calm, cool, collected Darrick Minner, and that's a dangerous guy.
And how excited are you to fight on a pay-per-view card like UFC 269, and kind of in a fight that everyone's looking forward to, because you know you're facing Ryan Hall and everyone loves your style as a fighter as well?
Yeah, I mean, he's got that cult following too, that everybody believes he's immortal or some shit too. It's kind of weird. You know, he gets knocked out and all of a sudden he's still the best in the world. And, you know, he's going to leg lock everybody and blah, blah, blah. So yes, it's going to be a great fight. It's a great card. You know, I haven't fought in front of fans since I fought Grant in my debut. So I'm looking forward to that, to getting back to the atmosphere and thriving in front of the fans, and just being able to get this win and then go back in and watch all the fights, you know, live. That'll be awesome. Yeah, it's a stacked pay-per-view, and there'll be a lot of eyes on there. So yeah, man, I definitely believe that everybody's excited for this matchup, just to see, like, because my his style, I'm gonna make his ass fight. You know, his style might be he might be a fan favorite, but no one truly likes watching him fight. I mean, you can't, like, he's boring and he rolls all over. You know, it's just, I've never heard somebody say, "Oh, I love watching that guy fight." You know, so but people like watching me fight, and I'm gonna make Ryan Hall fight.
You know, you say about nobody really liking how he fights. He got booed in his last fight in terms of that first round quite a lot. Do you expect that, or you're not going to let any boos happen at all?
I mean, you know, you gotta play the game, man. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna rush in there and let him roll on me and get in them scrambles and situations. But yeah, I mean, I mean, if they're booing, I'm gonna let him know they're booing at you, not me, bud, because you're the one flopping on the ground and doing all that shit. So, yeah, man, I think he's probably been booed in like a few of his UFC fights. I mean, with Elkins, he kept rolling and stuff, you know, but it was more exciting because, you know, obviously Elkins didn't move his head, so he kept getting wheel kicks. So everybody thought that was cool. But yeah, man, if they might boo, but I don't know. Who knows, man.
Do you feel like it is important to remain patient with Ryan Hall?
Yeah, for sure. You got to be patient. You got to be cool and collected, and your mind's got to be clear, man, because, you know, he is sneaky. You know, you can't take that away from the guy. He is good at what he's good at. You know, he's definitely the best in the world at what he does. You know, he created his own system and all that. So you definitely gotta respect his game and be patient and let the fight play out as it's supposed to, you know, so, and take it to him. So, yep.
Do you feel, with this being your first fight since your UFC debut in terms of fighting in front of fans, do you feel like there'd be any difference in terms of fighting in front of fans this time after the pandemic for you? Or do you feel like you'll kind of be used to that, knowing how many professional fights you've had?
Yeah, man, I've fought anywhere from parking lots to arenas to the Apex to, you know, I mean, this is going to be sweet because this will be by far the biggest state place I've ever fought in with the most fans and stuff like that. But man, I have 39 pro fights, 38 pro fights, and with my 14 amateurs, I've been in front of all types of crowds. And yeah, man, I'm excited. I mean, nerves are what they are, you know, everybody's got them, but I'm not, as far as that, I'm not nervous. I'm more excited, and I feel like that'll bring out the best in me.
And finally, can we just get like an official prediction out of you? I know it's a bit hard to predict this fight, but do you feel like a first round submission is in the cards? Because maybe this might be the most least likely fight you might get a first round submission, knowing you're fighting Ryan Hall. Or do you feel confident you could get it in this fight?
I'm guessing, you know, into second round, third round finish, or the, you know, that's my prediction, you know, but I'll be completely happy walking out of there, getting my hand raised in any way possible. If I get a first round finish to Ryan Hall, I'm gonna make sure that, you know, I'm gonna have probably $50,000 more in my bank account, I'm assuming.
Do you think that a bonus would be on the cards if you got a finish over him?
I mean, especially if I submit you know, if you submit the guy, you probably get a bonus. You deserve a bonus, you know, that's what everybody, but I definitely think that I can definitely submit him if that's how the fight plays out. I definitely think my grappling is still underrated, even though I have so many submissions. So
would that be the best Christmas gift you could get as a win over Ryan Hall?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, my family will definitely love their Christmas after that. But yes, the Christmas will be awesome, man.
Oh, thank you very much for your time, and all the best on December 11th.
Thank you, brother.